So this is going to be a quick video about the different materials you can use to build an action figure diorama like the ones behind me. This is not like a comprehensive list or anything. You could build these things out of all kinds of stuff. You can build them out of cereal boxes, macaroni and plaster if you wanted to, honestly. But people use clay, they use plaster, they use foam like I'm about to show, they use different types of wood, balsa wood, basswood, all kinds of stuff. But these are just some of the simple materials that I use and I know are very common in the action figure diorama community. There are lots of other things that are used in traditional dioramas. This stuff might be more commonly found in building war games terrain, which uses a lot of the same tools and techniques as action figure dioramas. But honestly, you could do this stuff with almost anything. But here's a couple of examples of the most common materials that people use. So this is insulation foam board. As you can see, it comes in different thicknesses. It just depends what your local store carries. This is about 2 inches thick. That's a little harder to find. This is the 1 inch. This is the most commonly found, and this is 1/2 inch thick. The 1 inch is honestly good enough to do basically everything with, because you can just kind of glue it together to make thicker pieces. But if you want to thin it out, the 1/2 inch is really nice, or you have to use a hot wire cutter usually to kind of trim it down. So as you can see, this foam, you're able to get really, really good detail in here. Everything on here is foam except the little window is a piece of 3D printed plastic. But all these trim bits here are bits of that same pink foam that were trimmed down on a hot wire cutter and then textured using various methods with like a tinfoil ball and other things like that. And you could see the good thing about this material is all the different textures. It's definitely one of the strong points of it. This looks like stone right here. It's all the same thing, all carved from one piece. These little bits were broken off and then I glued them back on there. But as you look at this, you can see the door looks like it's a different material, but it's actually the exact same thing. It just has a different texturing method applied to it, giving it a completely different look. Even the little iron straps, it's all the same foam, just cut to a thinner piece. And that's just really handy to be able to do that all from the same material. The stuff's also really lightweight, which is nice for shipping. So these stairs, the sides were made out of the 1 inch, but this is the 1/2 inch. All these stairs are made from the 1/2 inches stacked up and glued together. And this is something that's really handy when you have the different dimensions, different thicknesses. You can get different looks. This tree right here was carved. The tree trunk was carved from the 2 inch, and it's one solid piece. But if you wanted to, you could take two 1 inch boards and glue them together and then carve it. You would probably see a seam line, but you could cover it up when you were finishing it. It would just be a little bit more effort. So it's actually quite nice to have that 2 inch thick foam laying around if you want to do something like this, or if you're trying to do rocks or something that's just a bit more chunky. This is foam board or ready board or foam core, and it's just a piece of foam sandwiched between two pieces of paper. And you could use it to build whole structures, but I use it lots of times for little pieces of trim. All this trim on the bottom here and above the door also was made out of foam core board. Now once again, you could use this to build, if you peel the paper off of it, this bookshelf right here, the little shelf, was made with that. And you could texture the foam underneath the paper, much like you would, the other pink insulation foam. You can use a wire brush for this wood grain or aluminum foil ball for a stone type texture. These little books were actually just made out of some 1 inch pink foam. So the last material we're going to talk about real quick is chipboard. Now this stuff is basically the back of like an old notepad. It could be used for trim. You could use it for making shingles or all sorts of little things like that. So I just wanted to mention really quick, the foam core board can be found at craft stores or dollar store, anywhere like that. The insulation foam that we started off with, the pink board, it comes in pink at Home Depot, blue at Lowe's, and it comes in different colors in different places that you go to, but it's insulation foam board. The chipboard, I usually order it from Amazon, but you could find it at stationery stores if you could find one. Anyway, I hope this information is useful to you, and See you next time.